Well, hello there, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to my interview with William Spencer Reilly, Bill, otherwise known as Bill. Hiya,
Hey,
Bill.
hey, Sam, how are you? Great to be here.
Yes, great to see you. Look,
Yeah.
international connecting going on here over the water. Delighted to have you here, Bill. And we tried to get you on before, so I know we're going live into the Facebook page. So hi to everyone on the Sober St. Patrick's Day Facebook page. We're also live on Twitter, LinkedIn, and my Facebook. So hi to anyone who joins us. Do post your questions and comments, and we will be able to see them. Bill, Sober St. Patrick's Day. How did you come up with the idea? And tell us a little bit about how it started.
Sure. It's a St. Patrick's Day story. In 2011, I was at the parade in New York City on Fifth Avenue. And the parade on Fifth Avenue is awesome. I mean, I
Mm.
was feeling really proud and watching the marching bands going by and really feeling, very special and Irish American. And out of the corner of my eye, as this band was going by, I see this young man. He's probably about 22, and he was holding a can of beer. He was drunk as a skunk. It was only about 12:45 in the afternoon. And I go, oh, wow, okay. And all of his friends were holding cans of beer too, and equally wasted. And I didn't pass judgment, Sam. I just went up to the guy and I said, hey, he was wearing a T-shirt. I went up to him and I said, that's a pretty interesting T-shirt, because it said St. Patrick's Day today, hungover tomorrow. So I didn't pass judgment. I just went up to him and said, hey, where'd you get that? And he said, oh man, I got it in the mall in New Jersey where I live. They sell 1,000,000 of them. Ain't it cool? And I got to tell you, Sam, in that very moment, a
Yeah.
light bulb went on and I said, wow, what if next year in 2012, we threw a rip-roaring, kick-ass party with world-class entertainment, musicians and dancers and storytellers, and really focused on what St. Patrick's Day is supposed to be about the richness of Irish culture, who St. Patrick is. And I just thought, wow, wouldn't that be great? And for people in recovery, but more importantly, just for anybody who's not going to get wasted that day, families,
Mm.
kids, moms and dads. Because in New York, I don't know. I mean, in New York, it is insane on St. Patrick's Day. Once the
I
parade
believe
is over,
so. Yeah.
everybody hits the pubs, and it's just people run for the hills because it's a one drunken crazy fest. And in fact, in Grand Central, they don't sell. That's the only day of the year when people go home from Grand Central on the trains where there's no liquor sold, because it's such a horror show, in the streets. And anyway, so
Wow.
that's when the light bulb went on. And then I, said I'd love to do it next year. And then the following January, when it got to be the season, I approached the Consul General of Ireland in New York, a terrific guy named Noel Kilkenny. He said, well, that's a pretty wild idea. He said, if you can pull this off, I'll eat my hat, right?
Really? Did he say that? That's
Well,
interesting.
in
Was that
so
the
many words,
reaction
yeah.
you
He
got?
thought
Like,
he thought
yeah.
I. He said, but I think it's a great idea. But I think he
Hmm.
said it's not going to be easy to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the end of the story is it's January 25th, 7 weeks before St. Patrick's Day. I had raised some money, and that was the date I gave as a deadline. So here I am, 7 weeks away, Sam. I
Yeah.
didn't have a musician. I didn't have a venue. I hadn't sold a ticket. I had nothing, just an idea.
Mm.
And I tell you, I just went to work and the Red Sea parted. I mean,
Aw.
it was just amazing. So on March the 15th, on the Ides of March, right, I call Noel Kilkenny and I say, Noel, I just want to let you know that Sober St. Patrick's Day is sold out in advance. And
Wow.
he was just over the moon. So he came, he brought a lot of officials from the Irish government with him. Actually, Jean Burton had said, oh, what a great idea. We should do this back in Ireland. Anyway, so that's how it began. And then we've always sold out in advance every single year we've done this party in New York.
Amazing. So it's normally an event in real life. And Sharon
Yeah.
says hi from Kildare in Ireland. Hi,
Oh, great.
Sharon. She says
Hey,
hi, Sam and Bill. But
terrific.
yeah, I mean, so normally people wouldn't know about it necessarily outside of New York, but it's very popular in New York every year. You do it every year. So obviously you'd have hired a place, a hall or
Yep.
whatever,
That's
and
right.
food
That's
and
right. Yep.
all of that. So
That's right.
this year, what happened? Well, obviously we all know what happened,
Yeah.
but yeah, tell us how we ended up where we are now.
Well, it's interesting because in a weird way, COVID might actually be a blessing in disguise, because this year we're going to do a live event, but it's all going to be virtual.
Mhm.
And we've already gotten people who are reserving to watch this. It's going to go up at 4 p.m. in New York, which is 8 p.m. in Ireland.
Yeah.
As you may know, there's only a 4-hour difference at that time of the year on the 17th of March. So anyway, 8 o'clock in Ireland. We've got incredible talent. I mean, the two best fiddle players in America, literally. In fact, they're the only Yanks ever to win the All-Ireland Championship in the fiddle for seniors. One when he was only 24, and the other guy when he was 26. It's Brian Conway and Dylan Foley. And anyway, so the best step dancers in the Northeast, and other great musicians and singers, Mary Conway and other people. Donny Carroll, who is the Cork Man of the Year for 2015, an Irishman who's performed at every one of our events every time we've done it. Yeah. So it's going to be a virtual that people can watch, on their screen, because the good news for us, that is that because everybody's going to be home again on St. Patrick's Day, they're going to be looking for something to do. And so it'll be a great form of entertainment. And you'll learn more about how the movement has grown to other cities, because we're not in New York, only in New York anymore. We're in 7 other American cities. Great. And the hope is that and also Dublin has done a small one at Clockwork Door, thanks to Kieran Hogan the last 2 years.
Great.
So my hope is that this year, a lot of other towns and cities in Ireland fall in love with the idea and want to do their own live party in 2022. And it's easy to do one. And we'll help people put it together. But anyway, so this year it's at 8 o'clock Irish time on St. Patrick's Day. And we have a new edition this year as well, a thing called St. Patrick's Plate.
Oh, yes, I have the book here.
Oh, good. Yes, yeah.
So and this is great, yeah.
Yeah, Terry McCoy, who's a terrific chef, is going to be preparing a meal, and we'll be able to eat it at the end. In fact, people can even buy the ingredients in advance if they want to and cook along with it.
I love that part, because Irish food has come so far. Like everybody, I find when I used to speak, Bill, at events in America or whatever, they'd always say, "Oh, you're Irish. Oh, you must love whiskey and you must love Guinness." And I'm like, "Oh my God." And I'd always have on my slide, when you'd be doing your presentation, I always had Irish scenery and something different about Ireland. I never mentioned alcohol, which was funny. But, interestingly, I think the Irish food especially has come along leaps and bounds, hasn't it?
Yeah. And Terry is such a great cook. And what he's done is he's actually researched the kind of food and ingredients that existed in Ireland in the 5th century. So theoretically, St. Patrick could have actually eaten it. But what he's done is added the gourmet twist to it. So it's really delicious. So, that's New Year. And, when you mentioned about drink, Sam, I mean, we're not against people having a drink on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
We're just against people having 9 or 10 and getting wasted and making us look stupid. That's, so, people tune in if they're going to have a drink. God bless them. I'm all for it. As long as you're not in recovery and you're of age, we don't want to rain on anybody's parade. It's just about reclaiming what the day's supposed to be about. Because, in America, I mean, everybody wants to be Irish. It's amazing. And there's a phenomenon about that I don't think we've ever fully explored. And as an Irish American, what is it about this day that is the most widely celebrated national holiday in the world? And what is that? And I think it's because people are jealous of our culture, jealous of our music and of our dance. But I think bigger than that is that the Irish are I think, as an American, the most welcoming people and the friendliest people on the planet. I mean that.
And they have such a good reputation, don't they, for friendliness and welcome.
Absolutely. And I think that's part of it. And so we want at Sober St. Patrick's Day to make the day be about that and because trad music is family oriented, it's cross-generational. So it's really a rip-roaring party without the alcohol is really what it is.
Really it is, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's part of our mission it's a very bold mission, which is to reclaim the true spirit of the day and to change the perception and experience of what St. Patrick's Day can be. Now think about that. I know that this mission won't be accomplished by the time I die. That's why you and your generation are going to take this over, because the reality is St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in about 150 countries around the world. And it's going to take time to grow this movement, but we're already growing in America in a bunch of different cities. There are little parties. I mean, you can do this party for 75 people, with a few musicians, as long as we just ask you to do two things: not charge a lot of money so anyone can go. That's important. And at the same time that, that families are invited. And obviously if people in recovery, for them, it's a great opportunity as well, because they run for the hills on St. Patrick's Day, because it's such a freak show, So it's as simple as that. And, we'll help people do their own party, and there are guidelines on our website how to do it. And that's
Please
why,
God, if things get back to normal anyway. But in the meantime, actually, this could be the way this is supposed to go for you, Bill.
I think so.
This was supposed to go global, and now you're going to go global with this.
Because
online makes it possible.
And we've got people registered in Australia who are going to be tuning in, which obviously they could never come to our party in New York, or even the party that Kieran Hogan throws at Clockwork Door, because they're in Australia. And let alone, as I say, when I say this won't be fully accomplished by the time I'm gone, is because, the whole world celebrates this day. And the hope is that over time this grows to cities all over the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for people watching, if they have any questions, please put them in the chat there. I will be able to see the questions. But yeah, I think this is it's like fate nearly has kind of made this, you had to go online this year. But now it's actually opening a whole lot of different things. There are people seeing Sober St. Patrick's Day that would never have known about it before, because of the power of social media. And what we're doing here, we're live streaming. So, I don't know if everyone's okay, if they can hear us okay. But anyway, if anyone does want to come along, you can register at soberstpatricksday.org. We're on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Instagram. Bill, is there anything you'd like to add? I know there are people that have come on board that you want to thank, and people like that. So
well, there are some terrific sponsors that have come on board, but also SoberStPatricksDay.org is the website, and it's ST, not fully spelled out Saint, and no dot. So it's just SoberStPatricksDay.org. Oh, good. There it is.
It's down underneath.
Good. All you need is your name and your email.
And we're actually getting lots of registrations as this is going live, just to let you know there are people registered. Yeah, and Tammy just said, is that my friend Susan? Yes, there are people here watching from all over the world, and the registrations are coming in from all over the world, and people that probably never would have attended this. So well done, Bill. I have to say, well done. I just think it's a brilliant idea. It's a bit of a gamble, maybe, that, I know that the reaction I got when I put it on Twitter was like, oh my God, like, no, sorry, count me out. I'll be wasted. This kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Right. Well, it's called climbing the hill, and it's amazing how, particularly for moms and dads, in New York, they have no place to bring their kids, because the bars are such a freak show. And that's why they love to come to our party, because, in fact, the musicians, Brian Conway, who's a 5-time All-Ireland champion fiddle player, he says, I love to do this gig, and he's done it every year, because at Sober St. Patrick's Day, at least they listen to me.
Because and John Whelan has just joined us. Isn't he a friend of yours?
Oh, John Whelan John is the guy. John is our music director of this whole thing. He's gotten all the musicians for us. John has been with us from day one, and John's a 7-time All-Ireland button accordion player. And John will be playing again this year. And I would love to create some competition, quite frankly, between Ireland and America next year, because, we started this, but hey, it's your holiday. And I would love some of our band guys and some of your guys to go toe to toe, and let's see who can out fiddle who.
Excellent. I love it.
And the dances we have are terrific. And John Whelan and Brian Conway have been the two main guys from the beginning. I was so lucky the first year, to finish the story about how I did this. So 7 weeks before, I had nothing. I didn't have a musician. And I didn't know what to do, but I figured, okay, got to go to work. So I called a guy named Tom Doolin who lives out on Long Island. I said, Tom, I got this idea and I'm looking for musicians. He said, I know the perfect two guys for you if they'll do it. And it was Tom Doolin introduced me to John Whelan and Brian Conway, and that's how it all started. And those two guys have been with us every single show.
Isn't that lovely? And you know what? Because they believed in you as well. I think they believed in your vision as well. And so well done. And thanks, John, for joining us tonight.
And
great. Tammy's thrown up the link there. So anyone that's watching, if you wouldn't mind sharing this, that would be great. If you can share it on LinkedIn or Facebook, wherever you're watching it, that would be cool. I see people are already sharing it. So thank you so much. Bill, is there anything you want to add? I'd like to thank, I know there are sponsors that we need to thank, like Pepsi, for example. We want to thank the AOC. We want to thank Liz Christie, Katie's Ireland, and the Linen Shirt Company. I know there are other sponsors that are coming on board, but I mean, if anyone is interested in coming on board, do contact us, reach out. Sober St. Patrick's Day, there's a little form there if you want to check it out, and definitely check out the hashtag Sober St. Patrick's Day. If you would like to send us a little video from a scenic area in Ireland and you want to get on board and part of the celebrations, I will be putting together a video of all the videos that are sent in. So do send us, use the hashtag Sober St. Patrick's Day. So anything else you want to add, Bill?
Yeah, the best thing that happened to us this year was Tammy Ellen McLaughlin. We were able to hire Tammy as our executive director. And we are so lucky to have her. So we're going to grow. And thanks to you, Sam. I mean, this thing's going to take off like a rocket this year. And particularly, I'm so hoping that some additional towns and cities in Ireland and Northern Ireland, say we want to do their own party next year. And it's easy to do, and we'll help you. So thanks.
See, the thing is, like, I'm like, oh, I could do it here in Wexford, but then I'm like, no, I want to go to New York next year and go to Patrick's Day. There you go, dilemma. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us, Bill. Thank you. I love the hat. Show us closer. Yeah, lovely. Right. Okay, thank you so much for joining. And folks, do register, soberstpatricksday.org. Thanks very much, Bill, for your time. That was wonderful. And have a lovely evening, everybody.
Great.
Thank you.